Right. So again, this is just a really big section. There just is so much text. It will cover like everything related to the ACGME committees, councils, conduct, financials, etc. You can see everything here that is included in this section. So the first part of it, and I kind of went in order in this slideshow. Generally, I jump all over a certain section, but it's just too much. There's just too much to go through. So I don't know what would be easier, if it would just be easier for you guys to read this yourself and kind of guess what the answer is, or if you want me to read it. Again, a lot of these questions are really, really long.
We can read it.
Okay, sounds good. And then you can just, if you want, like shout out the answer, put the answer in chat, whatever you'd like to do. It's kind of the way we've done it in the past. I'm seeing some answers in the chat. I saw somebody had picked C, so good job. So ECFMG is not one of the 7 ACGME member organizations. ECFMG, sorry. Okay, where would you find the quadruple aim? I'm seeing a number of C's coming in. The answer is D, ACGME vision. So here are the 5 aims included in that quadruple aim as part of the ACGME vision, or that is the ACGME vision. Which is one of the 5 ACGME core staff values? C and D, A, E. We've got lots of good answers here. The answer is A. So these are the 5 ACGME core staff values. Good job, you guys. Okay. Of accreditation by the ACGME. So it has a twofold purpose: to establish and maintain accreditation standards and to promote residency and fellowship education. So true or false? It is the intent purpose of the ACGME to establish numbers of physicians in each specialty. We have some trues, we have a false. Answer is false. And I think, and if somebody has taken the exam recently, and I'm so sorry, I don't know what I just did. And you can certainly correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe there are true false questions on the actual exam. Okay, so one of the other sections that's included in the study guide is the section on ADS FAQs, which is a good section just to read, even if you aren't taking the exam. Updating that every single year. It's coming up very, very soon. So it's just good to check out these FAQs every year. So how can a sponsoring institution set the annual update to be the same for all of its accredited programs, regardless of whether they use case logs? Which one of these would they do if they wanted to set it the same for all of its programs? Because those of us who use case logs are on a different update schedule than those programs who do not. I see a 4. And that was my guess too. Yeah. Oh, but D, but it is 4. So good job. All right. So here's a really long one, employee and volunteer whistleblower policy. This basically talks about employees and volunteers should share their concerns with the ACGME. And then my little question down here at the bottom is, which ACGME committee manages red flag reporting? And if this were a question I got, I guess I would probably do a search of red flag reporting. And then if you needed to, you could dial down into some of these. So we have a C and we have a D and another C. The answer is C, the Audit and Risk Committee. Which ACGME committee proposes which members will serve on the Policies and Procedures Advisory Committee? I see a B and an A. And my guess is going to be A as well. Yeah, the Governance Committee. All right. Which is not a standing committee of the ACGME? Okay, we have an E and we have a D. I think those are both really good guesses. And the answer is D. The mentoring committee is not a standing committee of the ACGME. Which ACGME committee recommends ACGME fees, per diems, and honorariums? This one too, you've got some good words that you could use as your search if you're using that search function with things like per diem. We have D. I think D is a really good guess. I think you probably know that, and you are right. The compensation committee determines the annual compensation of. I see Fs and I'm agreeing with that as well. That was going to be my guess. Yes, F. The president, the CEO, and the chief finance and admin officer. Committee on Requirements. So the Committee on Requirements, just like it sounds like, reviews and evaluates new and revised requirements on the basis of yada, yada, yada. In what instance would the Committee on Requirements rely on the expertise of the appropriate ACGME committee? Any guesses on this one? 3. Good guesses here. Yes, 2. So types and procedures and experiences, they would rely on the review committee for urology in our instance. The committee oversees the work of the review committees. What is not a responsibility of the monitoring committee? Right, we have an A and we have a C, and I suspect one of those is right. Yes, C, they do not schedule review committee meetings. So at the end of the blank provisional approval period for new specialties, subspecialties, and subsubspecialties, the monitoring committee shall consider whether the ACGME should continue to accredit such programs. This review shall include consideration of the number of programs that have been accredited, the number of filled resident positions, availability of review committee expertise, staff, and other support requirements for accreditation, and other relevant information. Another one, I always liked getting these type of questions, especially if you're doing like a control F, because you have just these nice, numbers. Yes, like 5 years. So we have a C, 5 years. Right, I think C is probably the correct answer. Yes, 5 years. All right. Which of the following is an ACGME award? Some C's and some D's. And the answer is D, although I do believe this is a typo, and I think it is called the Deborah Dooley Program Coordinator Excellence Award. So I, I could be wrong, but I do believe the answer is Excellence Award. So I was technically wrong because I didn't type it correctly. It is a great thing for everybody to work toward. All right, ADS FAQ. What occurs during the ADS rollover, which is coming up? Good job on the guesses with the fives. So this will be coming up on, I believe, the 27th. So you can't really do anything in ADS with your residents right now. But when the time has passed on, I believe it is the 28th, I sent that out, but I'll send it out again to remind everybody. All your residents will have unconfirmed statuses, which you will want to change. You're going to be adding your new residents to your resident roster. And then the screens in ADS will reflect the new academic year. The case logs aren't immediately archived. You can select archive the case logs in August. That is one of your options. And I would suggest that, and also suggest that you download all the case log information for your residents and keep that in their electronic file so that you have it after they leave. Right. The name of the Journal Oversight Committee guides is, I'm seeing really good guesses that are correct. Good job, guys. There's some good articles in there. When they send that out, via email, I like to take a look at some of that stuff and read some of the articles. The Education Committee shall make recommendations to the blank with regard to ongoing educational activities and development of new education initiatives. We have some good guesses here. And the answer is B, the ACGME board. So the Council of Review Committee chairs, the Council of Review Committee residents, and the Council of Public members advise the ACGME in matters pertaining to GME accreditation and recognition. The councils report to ACGME board and executive committee. DRCR is the acronym for, oh goodness, I'm so sorry. The Council of Review Committee residents. The ACGME Council of Public Members Chair shall serve a single term of. The C's that are coming in here. Yes, 2 years. It's the name of the policy that relates to the integrity of the ACGME, its accreditation and recognition decisions, and the activities it undertakes. Think we're on the right track? Is it the one that starts with duality or the one that starts with conflict? Is the conflict and duality of interest policy. So that one was kind of a little sneaky one. Compensation is exempt from the conflict and duality of interest policy. This is here. The answer is for favors amounting to less than $50 per calendar year. Are the ADS annual update questions different for programs with continued accreditation without outcomes? Yes or no? The same questions apply to programs with continued accreditation without outcomes, continued accreditation with warning, and probation. Good job. Here's an example of a document the ACGME holds as confidential. Yeah, I think the E's have it. Yes, all of the above. What is not included in the ACGME published list of sponsoring institutions and programs accredited by the ACGME?
D.
We have I do believe B is the correct answer. Yes. Date, DIOs. I think this is a great tool. I actually use quite a bit on the ACGME website. So if you are ever looking to find the name of like a program coordinator from such and such a program in such and such a specialty, it's a great way to be able to look things up by state, by specialty. An ACGME director or review or recognition committee member is expected to attend blank consecutive regular meetings of the ACGME board, review or recognition committee. B's and a B and a D, and I honestly, I'm gonna go with B, but I don't know. C, 2 or more, 4. This is what we all want to be having here today because it's been like nearly 100 degrees the last couple of days. So the ACGME yearly accreditation fee covers the following costs. And then you see the little extra credit where the fees published. I've only ever seen the fee structure or the fees that our institution is charged in GMAC because that's something that they show every year. But I believe everybody's right on G. Yep, and it is on the ACGME website somewhere, the fee structure, which I think just went up actually. The ACGME will reimburse board directors and committee members up to blank per day for meal expenses during travel and or meeting days. C. I am going with C as well. Probably not our per diem. Oops, I am so sorry, you guys. Yes, it is C. It's probably a little bit higher than our meal expense per diem. So at the time of appointment, committee members, with the exception of the resident fellow and public member, and I'll let you read through all of these. I agree with Terry on this one. Yeah, D, so they must be, should have appropriate certification and they must be certified. So the should and the must are clearly different and important where ACGME requirements are concerned. So with the exception of the resident fellow member, committee members shall be appointed to blank year terms. Right, and then there's a couple bonus questions down there. How long is a resident and fellow term? And can a review committee member be appointed to the same committee again? So we have C for 6 years and resident 2 years. Good job. The committee member who may attend regularly scheduled committee meetings but shall not participate in institution or program review, nor have access to institution or program review materials. I'm going to stop sharing. My residents who are leaving, just sent me a text and said they want to stop by now to drop off all their stuff. So I am so sorry to cut this short. Like I said, I will send out the slides to everybody because I think just even going through it and using it kind of as a study guide, you can use it to, even go through your study guide and try to find the answers is a good thing. But I just want to be able to say goodbye to them before they leave. So thank you all and happy new academic year. And we have some great professional development stuff coming up next month. So I'll send out a message to everybody, just letting you know what that is. So take care, everyone. If it's hot where you are, stay cool.
Thank you, Denise. You rock.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.